Donald Trump did an interview with Hugh Hewitt and addressed the two individuals who are likely going to challenge him in the 2024 Republican primary. Nikki Haley, who reporting has showed she's definitely running. She's going to announce soon. And then, of course, Ron DeSantis. We don't know for sure if he'll run, but he's being floated a lot. And I'm going to show you these two moments and lots of interesting elements of this to discuss as well. So here is him getting asked about Nikki Haley.
One of the people who's going to declare...
And guys, I don't know what the heck is wrong with this audio in this clip, but we're just going to have to deal with it.
...for president this month, according to reports this morning, is Nikki Haley. If she runs for president, what's your response, Mr. President?
Well, she called me and she asked me about it, and I told her she should follow her heart. You know, she said numerous times, I put it up actually, that I would never run if our president runs. He was a great president, et cetera, et cetera. She said that numerous times, but she's a very ambitious person. She just couldn't stay in a seat. I said, you know what, Nick, if you want to run, you go ahead and run. She's
Earlier today, Larry Hogan, who's going to run, told me that if you are the nominee, he will support you. My question to you, Mr. President, if you're not the nominee, will you support whoever the GOP nominee is?
It would depend. I would give you the same answer I gave in 2016 during the debate. The first question I was asked by Brett Baer. I was asked two rather interesting questions. It would have to depend on who the nominee was.
Sometimes I do not understand how these shows that have huge audiences can't figure out their audio setup. And the moment, of course, he was referring to where Nikki Haley says, if you could understand what he said. Actually, let me summarize in case you missed some of that because of the audio quality. He was asked about Nikki Haley. He's saying that, listen, she can follow her heart. She can run if she wants to, but she did say if I ran, she wouldn't run, which you'll see her say here.
He still has a lot of popularity. If he runs again in 2024, will you support him?
Yes.
If he decides that he's going to run, would that preclude any sort of run that you would possibly make yourself?
I would not run if President Trump ran.
I would not run if President Trump ran, but she's going to run and announcing, I think it was February, somewhere in the teens of February, if I'm not mistaken, was when the reporting said she would be announcing. And then he addresses Ron DeSantis and says that DeSantis came to him back when he was looking for Trump's endorsement with, and this is not me being silly, this is actually what you're going to hear Trump say, with tears in his eyes. Wow. Take a look at this.
He got elected because of me, just like Ron DeSantis, even more so. But Ron DeSantis got elected because of me. You remember he had nothing. He was dead. He was leaving the race. He came over and he begged me for an endorsement. He was getting ready to drop out. I gave him an endorsement, and as soon as I gave that endorsement, in fact, I said, you're going to have a hard time. He was running against Adam Putnam, the Commissioner of Agriculture, who had a massive lead. He's been running for 8 years while he was Commissioner. He had $40 million in cash. I believe it was 40. And he was up in the poll massively by, but not catchable, not even catchable. He said, if you endorse me, I'll win. And there were tears coming down from his eyes. He said, if you endorse me, I'll win. I'll say, you know what, Ron? Ron was one of 150 people.
Okay. That's really irritating my ear. But tears were running down his face, were just gushing out of his eyeballs. Please, Trump, endorse me. Now, the interesting thing is, while I don't think Ron DeSantis was weeping, asking Trump for an endorsement, I do think he really needed that endorsement whenever he was running. He was a congressman and then he was running for governor of Florida. And I do think Trump's endorsement carried him to his victory. Now, this most recent win was all his own, but the initial win for the position of governor, I do think, was because of Trump. And one of the reasons I know that is because Ron DeSantis was absolutely publicly licking the boots of Trump to try to become more popular in Florida with that cringy ad where he's saying, I'm teaching my kid to love Trump too. Look, I'm reading him a book about the wall or something. Very cringy stuff. But clearly he thought Trump's support was what he needed, and that very much showed it. So interesting dynamic playing out. It's very fun and fascinating to watch Trump and Nikki Haley and DeSantis and whoever else might jump in the race. Not that DeSantis or Haley are officially in it, but the people he thinks are going to be in it that dynamic starting to be created that we'll get to watch over the next just under 2 years. Very fun stuff.